In 1984, a doctor in Australia mixed a beaker of dangerous bacteria, the kind he believed was making thousands of people sick, and drank the entire thing himself. Why would a trained doctor deliberately infect himself with something dangerous? And why, even after he proved himself right, did it take the rest of the medical world another 10 years to believe him? This is the true story of Dr. Barry Marshall, a young Australian physician who was so certain everyone else in medicine was wrong, he was willing to make himself sick to prove it. By the end of this video, you'll understand exactly what he proved and why it mattered so much, and you'll pick up 3 advanced English words you'll actually hear in real conversations, not just textbooks. Let's get into it. Barry Marshall was born in 1951 in a small mining town in Western Australia. By the time he became a doctor in the mid-1970s, one thing about medicine was considered settled science, beyond argument. Stomach ulcers were caused by stress, by spicy food, and by excess acid in the stomach. Doctors treated them with bland diets, antacids, and in serious cases, surgery to remove part of the stomach entirely. Nobody questioned this. It had been the accepted explanation for decades, taught in every medical school, printed in every textbook. For patients, that meant years of restrictive diets and antacids that rarely worked for long, and for the worst cases, major surgery to physically remove part of a working stomach, a permanent, invasive fix for a disease nobody actually understood. Then, in 1979, a quiet pathologist named Robin Warren noticed something strange under his microscope. In biopsy samples from patients with inflamed stomachs, he kept seeing the same thing. Small, spiral-shaped bacteria living in a part of the body doctors were certain no bacteria could survive in. The stomach's own acid was supposed to make that impossible. For a while, Warren was almost alone in even looking twice at what he was seeing. It took another colleague willing to take the observation seriously before the idea went anywhere at all. Marshall, then a young clinical fellow, became fascinated by what Warren was seeing. Together, they studied biopsies from 100 patients and found the same spiral bacteria in nearly every person who had gastritis or an ulcer. To them, the pattern was undeniable. This bacterium wasn't just present alongside the disease, it was causing it. When they presented their findings to other doctors, the response was immediate rejection. At one national conference, Marshall stood up and described the bacteria, the biopsies, the pattern across 100 patients, and was told essentially to sit back down. The medical community was deeply skeptical. Bacteria simply couldn't survive stomach acid, they were told, and even if it could, correlation wasn't proof of causation. Marshall didn't stop there. Around this same time, he began quietly treating some of his most difficult ulcer patients, the ones who'd suffered for years, with a combination of bismuth and antibiotics, instead of the standard acid-reducing drugs. Of 11 patients treated this way, 9 improved, and unlike before, their ulcers didn't keep coming back. It was strong, real-world evidence. Almost nobody in the field wanted to hear it, because believing it meant admitting that decades of medical training had been built on the wrong explanation. To prove a bacterium truly caused a disease under the accepted scientific standard known as Koch's postulates, researchers needed to infect a healthy animal with it and watch the same disease appear. Marshall tried everything: rats, mice, even pigs. Nothing worked. The bacteria simply wouldn't infect any animal he tested. Without an animal model, he had no way to satisfy the exact proof skeptics were demanding of him. And the more he was doubted, the more persistent he became. By July of 1984, Marshall had run out of patience with a scientific process that refused to move fast enough. If no animal could catch the disease from the bacteria, there was one test subject left that could: a healthy human being, himself. He asked a lab technician to culture a batch of the bacteria, taken from a patient who had confirmed gastritis. He didn't file a request with any ethics committee, and he didn't ask permission. He almost certainly would have been told no. Then, without making any announcement to his colleagues, he mixed the culture into a beaker of broth and drank it. For the first few days, nothing happened at all. He went about his normal work, wondering if the experiment had simply failed. Around day 5, That changed. Marshall began waking up early each morning with nausea, and soon he was vomiting. His breath changed noticeably, a symptom he'd later say was one of the first clear signs something real was happening inside him. Within about 2 weeks, doctors confirmed through a biopsy of his own stomach lining that he had developed acute gastritis, and that the exact bacteria he had swallowed were now living inside him. His wife and colleagues were reportedly stunned when they found out what he'd actually done to himself, not in a lab animal, not in a volunteer, but in his own body, without telling almost anyone in advance. He had proven, on his own body, something the entire medical establishment had insisted was impossible. A healthy person could be infected by this bacterium, and it alone was enough to make them sick. He then treated himself with antibiotics and bismuth, and within days, he was cured. It should have been the moment everything changed. It wasn't. Not right away. Even with proof recovered from his own body, most of the medical world remained unconvinced for years afterward. Old ideas about stress and acid were deeply built into how doctors were trained, and changing that took far longer than any single experiment, however dramatic. It wasn't until 1994, a full decade after Marshall drank that beaker, that the National Institutes of Health formally declared H. pylori the primary cause of most stomach ulcers, recommending antibiotics as the standard treatment. In 2005, Barry Marshall and Robin Warren were jointly awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine. What had once been dismissed as an impossible theory from two unknown Australian researchers was now permanently validated on science's biggest stage. Their discovery turned out to matter even more than they first realized. Researchers later confirmed H. pylori was also linked to a raised risk of stomach cancer, making it the first bacterium ever formally connected to a type of cancer, a discovery that reshaped screening and treatment far beyond ulcers alone. Because of their work, an illness that once meant a lifetime of medication or even stomach surgery could now often be cured with a short course of antibiotics. It's estimated that discovery has changed treatment for hundreds of millions of ulcer patients worldwide, all because one doctor decided the fastest way to end an argument was to drink the evidence himself. There's one more detail worth knowing about Marshall. Away from the lab, he was, by his own admission, a skilled yo-yo performer as a kid, and decades later, he still kept an active blog, long before most scientists thought to have one. A small reminder that the man willing to drink dangerous bacteria to win an argument was, in most other ways, thoroughly ordinary. Let's lock in today's 3 words. Skeptical, having doubts about something, not easily convinced. She was skeptical of the salesman's promises, so she asked for everything in writing. Persistent, continuing firmly with something despite difficulty. Despite 3 rejections, he was persistent and eventually got the job. And validated, officially confirmed to be true or worthwhile. Her years of research were finally validated when the study was published. Try using one of these 3 in the comments. I'll be reading them. If you understood most of that without needing the subtitles, you're already listening at an advanced level. Subscribe. Next episode is even stranger than this one.